Hello, everybody. It's me, John, and I'm back for a vlog on my brand new phone. I'm doing this vlog also as a test, just to see if there is any difference with the camera. I can already tell it is a lot clearer, um, but I don't think there'll be that much difference compared to my other camera on my old phone. But I can already tell it's not 4K. It's still technically it's basically it's got ultra HD, um, which is kind of just under 4K, I believe. Um, but yeah, I'm happy. I would like to have a full 4K camera, but it'd have to be like a dedicated camera because I don't. Well, I don't know. This phone probably does have the processing power to be able to deal with 4K editing. Because I do know 4K it determines on the processing power of the device that you're using. Same with a computer. You might need to upgrade to a 4K, and it's basically, if you have a computer for instance, which most people do, and you had like a 4K webcam, it might not work properly. It probably will work, but you won't be able to get the full capability of the full 4K performance through it because of the graphics card. You have to upgrade the graphics card in the computer and so on, and probably something else as well in order for it for you to get the full performance out of the resolution. Um, but yeah, ultra. I can already tell, even though it's only like what 20 to 4 in the afternoon. So it's quite nice outside, quite nice and bright. So I'm getting good lighting through the house. But it seems to be a lot clearer, a lot more clearer picture at the moment. Um, but yeah, so I got myself a new phone. I wasn't going to bother getting another phone, not until at least later on in the year. I was going to probably, treat myself around my birthday, near Christmas, something like that, for just treat myself to a new phone. But with me now going to America, I've noticed my old phone was starting to fail. There was issues with the screen. There was problems. The camera still worked okay, but yeah, I could tell the camera quality was not as good as it was when I first got it. It wasn't as crisp at sometimes. It seemed to kind of be very pixelated. Um, Also, yeah, so I had issues with the screen. I had issues with my charge port, even though you can get those changed relatively easily if they do fail. But I had that phone about, I've had to literally replace my charge port on my old phone about maybe 2 or 3 times, and I just couldn't be asked to mess around paying money out for it. I know that sounds a bit stupid me saying that. I just literally forked out for a brand new phone, which is even more expensive than a charge port. But I digress. The point of it is that the performance of my old phone was starting to lag as well. So I think it was like the chip or the processing power of my phone was starting to decrease in power. Also, it was a relatively old phone because I think when I first got because obviously my old phone was the Samsung Galaxy A52. This new phone is the Samsung Galaxy A56 that literally came out this year. So obviously it's much more upgraded when it comes to the chipset and everything like that. Also, the cameras I can tell are an improvement over my old phone as well. Um, but I'm really happy with this new phone. I really am. I wasn't expecting it to be as nice as I thought it would be. Um, some people might see this as a snobby thing to say. Each to their own. If people want to buy these really expensive handsets or devices, each to their own. People are free to spend whatever money they wish to on stuff. I'm not going to say anything against that. For me personally, I don't see the point of spending or shelling out over £1,000 for a phone. when I have never bought a phone at over £1,000, and nor will I ever. Even if it's on a payment plan or something like that, where I pay in installments or whatever like that, I will never pay that much money out for a phone. Um, yeah, it's just I think prices of phones are getting a bit too stupid. iPhones have always been expensive. The flagship models for Samsungs are getting ridiculously priced. It's just one of those things, it's a competitive market. Samsung and iPhone are proper rivals between each other. So they're trying to kind of compete in the same market, which they are in the same market. Obviously, Samsung's Android and iPhone's iOS. So you know they're trying to compete and trying to keep at the same kind of price tag level. Um, but this phone, I would say, is their mid-range. It's just it's not quite the flagship when it comes to what's inside the phone, but it's still good enough for me. I'm quite happy. Um, yeah, I'm quite happy indeed with it because when I ordered it, I wasn't expecting it to be as nice a phone as I thought it would be. You know what I mean? The reason why I say that is that when I saw the pictures, I thought, oh, that actually looks quite nice. And I ordered it off Amazon because I don't need like a payment plan, or I don't need to kind of like like most people when they buy a new phone, they kind of like go into like a O2 or whatever, and they just kind of like set up an upgrade thing, and they're paying installments for the phone's handset, and that some people do that. But I've already got I already pay an amount for my mobile phone anyway, for my data and all that stuff. Um, so what I usually do is I just buy myself an unlocked phone, no matter what brand it is. I just buy myself an unlocked phone and just put my SIM card straight in, and Bob's your uncle. That's what I usually do. I don't mess around with the middleman. I don't do the whole middleman bullshit. We're having to like set this up, set that up, set a payment plan up, all that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, so but yeah, I'm really happy with this new phone. I really, really am. I hope it sounds better because I noticed as well with my old phone, like a lot of like background noise whenever I was trying to kind of like record. It sounded like something rubbing against the microphone and everything like that, and that kind of was annoying me. I don't know. I have no idea if that's happening with this phone or not. I really don't know. I won't know until I play it back and see what the sound quality is like. But the speakers in it sound good. The camera looks good. It's got much more like premium sort of build quality to it. Because, like I said, when I first looked up the phone, because I've seen it advertised on TV, the new A56, and I was like, okay, they brought out another version of it, and so I went on Amazon. It was available, and I thought, sod it, I'll treat myself and get one now. Get it, and yeah, it arrived. It arrived. When did it arrive? I've had it now about 2 days, I think. So it came. Yeah, it came on the 1st of April. Yeah, it arrived on the 1st of April, and which was, yeah, 1st of April. It arrived. I got home from work, set it all up, and then reinstalled transferred all my data from my old phone to this one, my new one. Did all that kind of stuff and get it all set up. And I got it out the box for the first time, and I was like, bloody hell! I wasn't expecting it to be like this, because the pictures online really kind of like sold it differently. It looked like it was just all plastic, like my old phone was. Like my old phone, it was just all plastic. It was just a plastic back, plastic sides. It was like just basically just a plastic shell. And when I opened up my new phone out the box, and I was like, I could, well, before I opened it up, I could tell that there was some heft to the box. I could feel that there was a little bit of heft to it. I thought, well, okay, there's some heft to it. It's not like gonna break my arm heft, if you know what I mean. But I could tell there was some weight in there. So I opened it all up, and I looked at the back of it, and I thought, oh, nice. It's got like a glass back on it. So it's got like, obviously it's plastic, but it's got like a nice plastic like screen, like a glass screen on the back of it, which I thought looked really nice. And I went with lightning grey, which is their kind of like off-white, sort of like a grey, like a real light grey colour. Because every time I go for a phone, I always get a black one. And I just thought, you know what, I'll change things up and I'll get a different coloured phone. Even though you're not going to really see the colour of the phone because I always have a case on my phone, but that's besides the point. I just thought to just be a bit different with my new one. So yeah, I got it out of the box and I'm looking at it and I thought, bloody hell. It's got a real like nice broad, it's got like an aluminium frame around the outside, and it's nice and thick, like a real nice thick border around the edge of the phone. And I was like, oh, this looks nice, this looks good. And yeah, it's really fast. The refresh rate's really good. It loads up the apps perfectly. It transferred all my data from my old phone, so all the data transferred over perfectly. It set things up really, really easily. It was such an easy way to set it up, and I've never had a setup for a mobile phone that easy before. It was just transferred straight over, and it was all done within about half an hour. But yeah, really happy with it. I really am. Yeah, so yeah, very happy indeed. So I've got a brand new phone, the Samsung Galaxy A56 5G. That literally came out about a week or two ago. It's literally only been out about a week, give or take, just over a week. But yeah, very happy indeed. But what I like about this new phone as well, it has eSIM capabilities. Now, so obviously, it goes without saying, you need a SIM card to be able to get a signal and to be able to make phone calls and texts and such. That's the whole point. The SIM card is your way to communicate with people, and so on. But yeah, so that's that. But basically, my old phone didn't have it. My old phone was dual SIM. Basically, just you can put two SIM cards in, not just normal nano size SIM cards. So you could basically just have a second SIM card and you could use that to be able to maybe do like data roaming abroad if you wished. But what I like about this phone is it has eSIM capabilities. Now, why is that important? Well, because obviously I'm going to America in September, and we're also looking at going to Japan in some point in the future as well, me and my good friend Smithy. And I've been seeing a lot when looking up these places, and a lot of people saying a lot of countries you need to have like you need to get another SIM card, and basically kind of like set up some kind of thing with a different SIM card in order to be able to use your data while you're abroad in that country. Otherwise, you're not going to get any service whatsoever. And I don't really want to buy another SIM card, an actual SIM card. So I was thinking of just getting some kind of an add-on or some kind of electronic SIM card, like an eSIM basically. And because you can get like an add-on thing onto what you already pay for your SIM, for your data. You can always have that and just have it as a bolt-on. But the fact that this phone has eSIM capabilities. So basically, when I go to when before we go to America, I'm gonna look them up, and I'm gonna kind of put an eSIM on my phone so that I can get full data roaming while I'm abroad. Um, and so that's going to make things a lot easier for me able to, obviously, I'm not talking about needing to be able to post stuff on social media and stuff while we're away. It's just I'm in America. If anything was to happen, and my dad needs to get in contact with me, or I need to get in contact with my dad, or somebody that knows my dad needs to get in contact with me, I have full capability of receiving and also making phone calls or making a text. You know what I mean? I need to have full communication with home, and also they need to be able to communicate with me as well. So, irrespective of me being on holiday or whatever, I want to be able to ring home or text home at least, just to update, let people know that we've arrived okay, things of that nature. It goes without saying. You know what I mean? It goes without saying. You need to be able to have a line to be able to get in contact with people if you need to. So yeah, very happy indeed. This phone is going to do me very well. Very happy indeed with it. Um, yeah, it seems a hell of a lot better off my old phone. It seems a hell of a lot better. It's a lot faster. I've noticed it's a hell of a lot louder as well. Basically, I can actually hear this phone when it goes off in my pocket. My old phone, I could hardly ever hear outside when I'm walking about. I could never hear the notification go off, or it ring, as if somebody was trying to ring me or something like that. I could hardly ever hear it. If I was on a bus, then yes, I'd hear it. But if I was like walking about, and I could hardly ever hear it. But this phone, it's a hell of a lot louder. You can really hear it, so the speakers are better. Um, but yeah, I also, with my old phone as well, the reason why I said about the performance was lacking is basically it would freeze my phone. My old phone would completely freeze up when I tried to get on. But basically, when I was on Spotify and I was listening to some music, and all I'm doing is simply just skipping the odd song here and there and so on. And basically, all of a sudden, Spotify and my phone, it's basically, yeah, Spotify and my phone would completely freeze up, and my phone would be literally non-responsive. It wouldn't let me shut it down. It wouldn't let me force reset the phone. Nothing would work. It was completely inactive for like a minute or so, and then the phone would somehow just all of a sudden spring back to life. But it would be really weird, and it would be very jerky and everything afterwards. And I was like, this isn't normal. This is not normal. And that's just basically just simply listening to music. And I was like, yeah, there's something up with this phone now. There's something up with it. I mean, obviously, Spotify's been working perfectly with this new phone, so I know it's not Spotify or the app itself, because it's been working perfectly with this phone. So it was settling my old phone. Also, as well, the cables in my car, it seems to be much better connecting to my car as well, because I've been having with my old phone. I was having issues with it was saying it was not incompatible with my phone sometimes, and it would disconnect from my phone because from my car. My phone would basically it would yeah it won't communicating with the car properly. My old phone, um, and basically my phone. Sorry, my phone. Basically my car. Unfortunately, even though it's a bloody annoyance, really, that's the only downside to my car that I don't like, is the fact that it doesn't have the fact that my car doesn't have a fully integrated sat nav. Basically, what I mean by that is where basically the sat nav is literally built into the entertainment system touchscreen in the car, where basically you turn the car over and your sat nav is already in the car. Uh, Basically, with my car, this I didn't realize this until after I'd taken my car for a test drive, and I'd basically, sort of bought my car and everything, and then we're kind of like looking through the features of the car, and it basically said that it had sat nav on it, but yet when we were looking into the car and what it could do and everything, we found out that the sat nav wouldn't work. You basically needed to kind of plug your phone into it, and it uses Google Maps. It basically takes over your phone and it uses Google Maps to be able to do your sat nav, and it comes up on the screen in the car. So you basically have to have a device with Google Maps on it for you're able to get your apps. Basically, so you can listen to music. You can either listen to your music, so that your Spotify app will work on it and such, and also for navigation. So, say if you needed to use your sat nav, I literally have to plug my phone in order for that to work. So basically, it was a pain in the ass. So I'd get it working, and then all of a sudden it would disconnect, and then I'd have no sat nav whatsoever. Even though I could still listen to music and everything because it works through Bluetooth, but yeah, that was the problem. But literally, my old phone was really really picky with cables. It was really really picky with cables for some reason. Like some cables it liked and it would work and it would charge the phone, or it would do what it's supposed to do. But then I'd get another cable, plug that one in, and it wouldn't even register or say there's a cable even input inside it. You know what I mean? It was just like some cables worked, some cables didn't. So I knew there was a problem with the charge port because it was like certain cables didn't work, some did. And then obviously, like I said, trying to kind of like connect it to my car, um, it just it would come up saying, doing all its rigmarole, doing its thing, and then all of a sudden it would just disconnect. But literally, I've this new phone has been an absolute dream connecting to my car. It's been an absolute dream. I've had no issues with you know, basically, I've had no issues with connecting. Basically, it plug it straight in, loads up beautifully, and it works flawlessly for the whole journey of my drive. So hopefully, yes, I know the longer I have the phone, the more that I'm plugging a cable in. The thing is, as well, some people are probably going to say you're best getting a phone with wireless charging. That's the only downside to this phone, my new one. It doesn't have wireless charging capabilities because it's not their flagship. It's not a flagship phone. Basically, if I was to get like Samsung's flagship phone, which is I think the S25 or 4, whatever it is now. If I was to get Samsung's flagship phone, then I'd have wireless charging. I'd have basically, obviously, the option for normal cable charge as well. Um, but because this is one of they're basically it's a budget phone, but I'd say because I say it's a mid-ranged phone because of the price bracket. Um, it's not quite the flagship price, but it's not far behind it at the same time. It's about mid in the pricing. So I always say it's a mid range. So basically, this phone unfortunately does not have wireless charging, which is a good thing to have because that means you're putting less stress on the charge port. You're not constantly having to plug it in, plug a cable in and take it out, which over time will cause problems with the port if you're not careful. Um, yeah, but and also it's one of them things. It's one of them things, unfortunately. But yeah, okay, this phone doesn't have wireless charging because it's not a flagship. Um, there's gonna be certain features that are going to be mostly for the flagship. They're gonna save all the best things for the main expensive phone because of the price bracket. Um, but I don't really mind. Yeah, I mean, end of the day, there's gonna be a time, probably some point down the line, where I'm gonna have to get a new charge port fitted to this phone. But everybody has, that's going to happen to most people, I know. But it's a lot cheaper than it's a lot of a cheap. It's not. The thing is, as well, most of the time it's just a bit of dirt inside the charge port. So you just need to kind of clean it out, try and clean out the shit or blow it out or whatever. That's usually the problem, is that a lot of shit goes up inside the port and it gathers up over time and it causes a connection fault. That's all it is. But anyway, so that's going to be it for today. Tonight I'm going to see Darren Styles. Um, yeah, me and my good friend Smithy, we bought tickets to go and see. I think it's The Gathering. It's presented by The Gathering, and they're coming to Hull. And Darren Styles is the main DJ doing his full set at. He's coming to Hull, called the Old Schoolhouse in Hull. So yeah, I mean, when I was a bit younger, back when I was about between say 14 to 15, about 14 to 16, 17, give or take that time frame. I listened to a hell of a lot of like the hardcore, hard style stuff, a lot of the hard dance kind of music, and Darren Styles was always one of my favourite DJs. So yeah, I noticed he was coming to Hull, and I mentioned it to my mate, and he said, "Yeah, we'll go," and because he likes that kind of music as well. And so yeah, we're going to go and see Darren Styles tonight do a full set, and he's been supported by a couple of other DJs as well. Um, but yeah, very much looking forward to that. So I'll see if I can probably get a little bit of footage of the rave and of what's going on. Try and get a bit of footage of what's going on. I'm not going to be completely behind my camera, but I might just get some bits to kind of show in a vlog of what it was like. Um, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. I have seen Darren Styles once before. Basically, he was with Clubland. There was a Clubland live, and it came to Hull, and it was at Hull Ice Arena. And I think I was about 18, 19 years old. And I went with, again, I went with my mate. Actually, no, I went with Sam, Jose Firestorm, and I went with my mate Chris, two friends from school. And so this was before I knew, obviously, I did know Smithy, but at that time we didn't really see much of each other at that time, back when I was about 18, 19. Um, so basically, I went with my good friend Chris. A school friend called Chris and Sam. So yeah, Clubland Live, and he wasn't doing a DJ set. He was singing on stage, because it was about around the time when he released his first solo kind of album. And he did all the singing and stuff on some of the tracks and that. So he was basically on stage singing, and there was like dancers around him. It wasn't quite the same experience, really. But this time he is fully doing his DJ set. So it'd be cool to actually see Darren Styles actually doing his thing. So that's going to be cool. So yeah, that's it for today's vlog. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope the camera is good, is adequate. I mean, obviously, from what I can tell, I can definitely tell the picture quality is a lot better. It just depends on the sound quality, really. But anyway, so thank you. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye bye.